Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Wednesday, the 15th, halfway through the month of May, as we get ready for summer. Kiddos get out in a couple of weeks, and we will be into summertime. And what's happening in the marketplace? We'll talk about that and more when Dave joins us here in just a few seconds. And before we do that, though, let's not forget that in this world we live in, there are so many things that are outside of your and my control. However, you can take control of your investment portfolio by knowing how much risk you have in that portfolio versus how much risk you should have in that portfolio. That's why I developed the core retirement design. Give me a call at 863-382-0037 to schedule your core retirement analysis. Hey, with that, we've got Dave coming up next.
Glad you're with me. Appreciate you joining me each morning. Gosh, it's been over 20 years. I appreciate it. 8:39 here, 21 before 9. Time to check in on money and find out what the Sam Hill is going on Wall Street this morning. I got to admit I was a little bit nervous coming into this morning because the wholesale inflation did not look very pretty yesterday. Well, we get consumer inflation this morning. Let's check in with Phillip Statler from Statler Financial Services in downtown Sebring and figure out whether we got good news or bad news. Phillip, how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing all right, Dave. It is halfway through, not just the week, but halfway through the month of May. Hard to believe, isn't it?
Absolutely blew me away. I was starting the week out on Monday morning, and I said, yep, graduation's coming soon. Then I realized that SFSC's already graduated most of their classes, so I'm saying, good Lord in heaven, the school year went by too fast. Set the table up for the markets from yesterday. It was not a half-bad day yesterday at the end. Everything pretty much turned the corner at 2. Must have tripped somebody's buy signals. Dow ended up 126. Standard & Poor's was up by 25. NASDAQ set a new record, up 123 points yesterday after that crummy wholesale inflation report that we got. I'm kind of surprised to see the turnaround, but it looks like we're getting kind of an, never mind out of the government this morning because we got the consumer price index, and it actually looks like inflation might be getting tamed a little bit.
Well, it does, surprisingly, that the consumer price index, it basically remained the same, went up the same as it did last month. That was 0.3%. Instead of the 0.4%, it was expected to go up. So you're right. It'd be interesting to see what the core is because the core was expected to be 0.3%. And so if it was lower than that, that'd really be good news too.
It absolutely would be. For some reason, the government data dumps are coming in drips these days instead of big reports. So we're kind of getting stuff off of our tickers as they go in. But yeah, 0.3% kind of belies the wholesale number and gives us a little bit of hope that maybe the tactic the Fed has been talking about keeping rates higher longer, but still maybe, just maybe, giving us a rate cut at the end of the year might actually be a viable tactic at this point, because for the last, let's call it 3-4 weeks worth of input that we've gotten out of the data, it sure hasn't supported that so far, has it?
No, it hasn't. And I did see a headline from your friend, Mr. Powell, yesterday that said the likelihood now of a rate cut is getting less and less because we just cannot get this inflation tamed.
Absolutely, and he was responding. He was downplaying the importance of the producer price index, trying to calm people down. Now we got to give it a little bit of warning. Remember the audience he was talking to. He was way over in Amsterdam with an international conference, but he was trying to calm everything down and tell everybody, "Don't worry, we got our hand on the lever and we know what we're doing over here. Don't worry about it." But that might have been what actually improved things about 2 when he put people on notice that, yeah, he was watching things even though he was overseas.
It could be, that, and so I think that was interesting. His comments there. The other thing, I don't know did you see retail sales, Dave?
Yeah, retail, I don't have the exact number, but my headline has it. Retail sales last month were described as flat. We didn't see any grandiose improvement, and frankly, that to me indicates, okay, a little slowing in the economy, but we're not falling like a rock. So one more reason for the futures to be happy this morning, right?
Well, it is, and so basically, flat means it didn't go up the 4%, 0.4% that was expected.
Yep, and that kind of sort of means that we've got the slowing economy that Wall Street kind of wants to see without throwing us into a recession. So we are kind of solidly into the good news is bad news and bad news is good news mode at the moment, aren't we?
It definitely seems to be that way.
So the other item that we came out, again, and we're looking on headline news level as much as anything as we go through, because both of our internets are running slow this morning, too. The Empire State Manufacturing Index came out, and that showed a decline, again, a weak index in the New York Fed's manufacturing district. So we're getting all kinds of indication, inflation slowing down, or at the very least not speeding up. Consumers are spending money, but we're not improving on things any. And the Empire State Manufacturing is off by a little bit. I'm seeing a slowing economy and not a sign of a recession right now. I'm just kind of guessing that even the meme stocks ought to be happy this morning, wouldn't you think?
You would think, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
I'm giving you a softball there, aren't I? Yeah.
Momentum seems to be fizzling for the meme stock craze right now. The shares of AMC were down more than 7% yesterday or this morning before we get going. And so it looks like the chain, they sold like 23 million shares yesterday. So they really, they cleaned up $163 million. Not a bad day.
That'll keep them in business a couple more months, won't it?
Absolutely.
You got to remember the meme stock, whole concept of the meme stock, especially with that Fruit Loop that triggers these things. Basically, he does it in order to, in order to really give short sellers the shaft. He's got a philosophic objection to short selling, so consequently, he sees a lot of short sales on a stock, suggests that his followers buy the heck out of the stock, and that really wreaks havoc with the checkbook on folks that have short positions in the stock, don't it?
It really does, because there's a certain point, because typically what happens is when somebody sells the short stock short, they don't actually own it to sell it short. They're actually borrowing it from somebody to sell it short. And so if there gets to be certain with requirements that if they get down so far, then underwater, then they get a margin call, and so they got to pony up, and so that can be devastating.
Yeah, the mechanics to a short sell, basically for lay people, is you borrow a stock. I borrow 100 shares of a stock that I think is going to tank. I borrow it from you, sell it, and then because I expect the market to go down for that stock, then I rebuy it and give you the stock back. You're still whole, you're clean, and I make the profit from selling it when it's high, selling it and buying it again when it's low, and giving you the same stock back again. That works great if you're right, but if you're wrong and a stock goes up by like 20% in a day, like those meme stocks do, boy, that can really hurt a guy's checkbook in a hurry, can't it?
That's right. We always say, you know what? Selling a stock short is the only way that there's an unlimited loss. You don't know what it's going to be, right? If you buy a stock and it goes to zero, you know what your loss is. So it's, one of those deals.
Yep. AMC, I noticed that now they're going to have a new stock offering in order to make things up. They made so much money by selling their own treasury shares the other day. Hey, this was fun, guys. Let's issue some more stock. I kind of wonder about the sanity there, but then again, the movie industry never has really made a lot of sense to me. We're quiet as far as reports are out this morning so far before the market opens up. Going to have a couple of interesting ones to tell you about tomorrow when they come out later on this morning. Cisco, the big computer switching company, Dole, the big pineapple and fruit provider, and other food products, and then the big kahuna for the bunch that everybody's going to be waiting for, Walmart, comes out on Friday. I wonder why they delayed so much. They're right at the tail end of the earnings season this year.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's what the deal is for them this year.
Absolutely. Any other notes that caught your eye yesterday? I got to make note of the fact that President Biden slapped a whole bunch of new tariffs on China. And when we get to the overseas markets, that'll become pretty obvious China was displeased. Beyond that, it's a relatively quiet day, and we're responding to the inflation, right?
Well, that's right. And those tariffs did help out one company that I'm looking at right now, and that's called SunPower. SunPower creates the solar systems. And so, one of the things that he's putting a tariff on is solar panels coming in from China. And so that was helping SunPower out here. Not bad. I mean, they dropped 21% yesterday, but still they're up they were up yesterday 59% on that news. Now people
I
are
know
taking some profits, so they're down 21 this morning.
Believe that. I know that some protective tariffs can help. We do have a limited solar panel manufacturing industry here. The bulk of them coming into the country, though, are coming from China. I know the people that put mine on told me they were American-made panels, but there aren't that terribly many manufacturers of them. So some protective tariffs could help a company like them. Resetting the table, it was a good turn yesterday. The major indexes ended up going up, and we ended up with a new record on the NASDAQ. 45 minutes before we open this morning, what are we looking at?
And we've got green ink now that that consumer price index number came out. It was red before that. We got the Dow up between 4 and 5/10%, $172. The S&P 500 is up almost $30, a little over 0.5%. NASDAQ 100 up $95, up a little over 0.5% as well. Big winner right now is the Russell 2000, up almost 1.5%. Before we get trading this morning. On the other side of the coin, we've got on the commodities index, silver is just going gangbusters, Dave. It's up another 2% this morning to $29.29. Dude, I got to go back to the 90s when I saw gold at silver at $32 an ounce, and we're trying to get there this morning.
I got to clean up Grandma's silver set quick while I got a chance.
Hey, we got gold up almost 0.9% up to $2,380 an ounce, and crude oil's down from yesterday's close by a little over 0.2%, $77.84 a barrel.
Never thought I'd be happy to see $77 barrel oil, but it's almost a novelty when it gets that low these days. Overseas markets at the close, the Asian rim was up everywhere except China. The mainland Chinese indexes were unhappy with those new tariffs. The Shanghai and the Shenzhen composites were both down almost a full percent in a profoundly mixed day in the Asian rim. Europe's looking at our futures and saying, oh, okay, we're cool. The overall index is up by between 1/4 and 0.5% halfway through the European trading day this morning. Getting a beat on my retirement, figuring out how I can make sure I can retire the way I planned on it, that takes some expert eyes. How do I get a hold of you to use your expertise, Phillip?
Dave, that's exactly why I developed the core retirement design, so that we can design the retirement you always dreamed of. Give us a call at 863-382-0037. Hey, you can also go to our website at statlerfinancial.com. A lot of good information there. And then you can also check us out for podcasts. Our radio show gets podcasted as well at any place that you can pick up a podcast there. And then join us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk, 7:30 a.m. and 95.3 FM.
It's kind of like going to the premiere when you catch it on the radio, right?
That's right, because it goes there first before it gets pushed out to the podcast.
I got you. And you hear everything here first tomorrow morning right here with us together again on Light FM. We'll see you then, Phillip.
All right, man. You have a great day.
Thank you. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services. Phillip Statler. Do you actually...
Hey, folks, again, I want to thank you for joining us today. I hope your week's going well. Join us again tomorrow, same time, same place. See you then. Bye now.